Hello, how's it going, guys? I hope you are having a wonderful day today. In today's video, I'm going to be making a tier list. Please do keep in mind this is my personal opinion and what I think is good or not. If you have another opinion, that is totally fine. This is just my personal experience from playing the game. And also, the people that I think are like really bad, I won't go into detail in them on why I think they're bad. I'm just kind of going to put them, in the bad section, so the video doesn't be, like very long. I'm just going to go into what I think is good and what I do think is bad. And, once again, it is my personal opinion. And let's go ahead and get started. So, the first picture we got right here is going to be Ichigo. Now, Ichigo's pretty good. He is free to play. You can also UR him for free, and he's a pretty good bleeder, and he has a Tiger Soul trait, which is not bad at all. I'm going to go ahead and give him very good because he does do pretty good damage. His bleed damage is also alright, and he's very free to play friendly. That's why I'm gonna go ahead and give him very good. Now Tosun is alright. He's pretty good in bleed teams. He does pretty good bleed damage, and he also attacks the full back row, all three people in the back, and the back row is usually the damage dealers, so it's pretty nice that he attacks the bad row. He is pretty good, especially in bleed teams, and that's why I'm gonna put him in good. Now Yoruichi, same thing with Yoruichi, I'm gonna put her in good. She's not out on any server at all actually right now. Her skills are alright, but she only attacks one enemy, I believe. And her stats are alright, they're not top notch or anything. Now for Cone, Cone is a god we all know, but he still goes at the very bottom. Same thing with her, she goes all the way to the bottom. Chad is pretty bad, and Altura is pretty bad. She's alright, she really doesn't do much, but she's I guess usable, but she's not really great at all. I would personally not run her at all. Rukia I'm actually gonna put here just because Rukia has a pretty good chance to crit and she can boost crit chances. She's still not very great, but if you're running a female team, maybe with Yachiro, she can do alright. But the only reason I put her here is because she has a pretty good crit chance. Now for Orihime, I'm gonna put an okay. I don't think she's very good, but she is a healer. At the moment, there isn't many healers in the game at all, but she is one of the few healers. Her stats are not very good, but she can heal either your front or back row, and her heals are pretty alright. And also, do keep in mind in the future, she can go to SSR, so she might be really good later on, but as of right now, she's just okay. Until she becomes SSR, she doesn't really do much, really. She doesn't do a lot of damage. She just kind of heals a little bit. He's May as well. He really doesn't do much. Isane, once again, only reason I'm putting her in OK is because she can heal one unit. I believe she heals the one unit with the lowest amount of HP. And she's one of the 3 healers in the game. And once again, that's why I'm gonna give at least all the healers an OK just because there is not many healers in the game right now. Nemu's actually alright as well because Nemi is pretty decent in 1v1s. Say like in Kampachi Carnage, you'll most likely have better units to run, but in 1v1s she can do a pretty alright job. Omaida doesn't really do much. He does have a pretty good character, Warsoul, but as a character himself, he's not really anything great. Ikaku's okay as well. He can also do pretty good in 1v1s, but overall, he's not a unit that I'd recommend using. He's just right here. He doesn't do much. Now for Renji, I'm going to give him an okay. He's a somewhat decent tank, I guess. He has a 20% chance to stun, but I feel like it's way lower than 20. I never get it when I did use him. But overall, he's just an alright tank and nothing special at all. He's just whatever as well. Tessai's pretty good. Tessai, his mastery skill has a chance to silence, which is pretty good. And as a tank himself, I don't believe he's bad at all. He's pretty usable. Now Uryu, believe it or not, I'm actually gonna give Uryu a good. This is probably going to be the only SR in the good section. Uryu I feel like is pretty good. He increases the crit chance of your back row, and he also increases the crit chance on himself. He can crit quite a lot. He's honestly pretty usable in my opinion. Uryu is pretty good if you're like a free-to-play player who doesn't know what to run. Like, I personally recommend Uryu. I think he's alright. Yachiro, I'm gonna give her an okay. Now, Yachiro on a female team is actually very, very nice. But what sucks about her is her skill is a Phoenix, and Phoenix is not very good. If you're running like if female teams were good, I'd maybe put her in good right here. But female teams at the moment, like you really can't make a good female team. There isn't enough units to make one right now. That's why I'm only giving her an okay. But if you can run her on a female team, she gives female teams a really, really good boost. So I definitely recommend running her only on females team in the future when they become viable. But as of right now, she's just not very good, honestly. Joshiro, I'm going to put here as well. Now, Joshiro, he can be good, but like you have to run him in really specific teams. If you build him up really good and run him in like some specific crit chance teams, he can probably clear out 1 or 2 rows, honestly, because he can rage attack again. But the teams are really expensive to make, and it's units that are not worth investing to. That's why I would not recommend using him. Now, Komamoro, I'm gonna give him a good. Komamoro isn't really. He's not really. You don't see him being used a lot. But as a tank, like if you just simply want a tank that can like tank really good, Komamoro can do the job because he has a damage reduction skill, and he can tank pretty well. If you're simply looking for just a tank in general, other than that, he doesn't do much damage. But if you just want somebody who can like purely tank for you, Komamoro is a pretty good choice in my opinion. Gin, I'm going to put him in the good section. Gin is, you know what, I'm actually going to put Gin right over here. Reason is, he's free to play. He has a weapon coming out. I don't know if it's going to be free to play or not, but he gives Bleach teams a really, really nice boost. If you're running like a full Bleach team and you put him on, he's kind of like needed in that team because the Bleach boost he gives is pretty damn high for Bleach teams. So, Gin is pretty good if you're running Bleach teams. I definitely recommend him. Now, Toshiro, that's kind of a hard one. I think I'm gonna put him here. Toshiro is pretty good, but there's many other units you can run instead of him. Like his freeze, I feel like it never happens for some reason in extreme challenges. Like I rarely get it in extreme challenges, but in arena he does actually freeze quite a bit. I don't know if it's a bug or not, but overall he just kind of freezes. His damage is alright, but him as a character, there's many other units that are better than him that you can run. Now Urahara, I'm gonna put him in very good. Now, I don't think he's very good, but if you can run him in a bleed team, he can be absolutely amazing because he gives shields from bleed damage, and he can actually be a tank himself. If you guys didn't know, Urahara actually has the highest base stats in defense and HP. So he can be a frontline tank, and if you're specifically running a bleed team, Urahara can actually be very, very good. I know many people don't use him at all, but it's because they're not running bleed teams. If you were running bleed teams, I'd personally, recommend putting him on there. And he's an Azure Dragon as well, and most bleed units are Azure. So if you're, trying to build a bleed team, he can work very well with them, and he can be a tank himself. Now, if we got Unohana right here, Unohana I'm going to put in good because I don't, personally, in my opinion, I do not think she is a very good PvP character. She's alright in extreme challenges, but where she really shines is going to be squad bosses. She's very, very helpful for squad bosses because she gives more race to your team and she heals all of your team, and she has pretty alright tanking stats. So other than squad bosses, I don't personally think that Unohana is very great in other game modes. I guess she's alright in extreme challenges, but other than that, her main use, in my opinion, is going to be for squad bosses. Now we got Shinsui right here. I'm going to give him legendary. Now I do know not many people care for Shinsui, and I fully understand that because right now there's 2 summonable units, limited matter units, and it's Yamamoto and Shinsui. And Yamamoto is way, way better than Shinsui. But keep in mind, Shinsui is a tank. If you're trying to use him as a tank, he's the best tank in the game. Like, you will not find a better tank than him. If you're looking for someone to use as a tank, there is nobody else other than Shinsui that can do the job. He heals himself, he has really good stats, and he has really good defensive skills. So Shinsui as a tank is really, really good. Other than that, he really doesn't do much. He does do pretty good damage to attack specialty characters, but if you want a tank, he is currently, in my opinion, the best tank in the game right now. That's why I'm giving him legendary, because he is the best in his own category. And, he's a tank. He can tank pretty well. Now, Byakuya, I'm going to give legendary as well. Now, Byakuya, he's not free to play. You can top up $1 and get him, which is really nice. So, he's not free to play, but he is, very cheap to obtain. And when you get to level 60, you can also start summoning him. But Byakuya is pretty good. For people who spend money, they use Byakuya as a tank because he's usually 6 stars and he can do a pretty good job as a tank. But even if you're running him in the back, like at a 4-star maybe, he attacks all the enemies and inflicts a little bit of bleed on it, which is really big because right now there is only, I believe, 3 units? No, there's 4 units that can attack all enemies, and Byakuya is one of the 4 that can do a really good amount of damage on them. That's why I'm giving Byakuya legendary, because he's very cheap to obtain, and overall he does pretty good damage to all enemies, and if you spend quite a bit of money, then you can use him as a tank if you want it as well. Now, Mayuri, another one I'm going to give legendary. Now, please, something I'd like to mention is Mayuri was probably all the way like down here, unless you get his awakened weapon. If you get his awakened weapon, in my opinion, he's like almost a UR if you really wanted to call him that, because after you awaken his weapon, he has a 28% chance to paralyze the enemy, and 28% chance is quite big. And that's like without any war souls or anything. So you can put like war souls on him and increase it even more. But with his awakened weapon, he's like definitely up top in my opinion. But without his awakened weapon, I don't think he's worth using. I'd probably like put him down here. But if you can get his awakened weapon, he's, all the way at the top for me. He's very, very good. Now, Kampachi, definitely first godly character right here. Reason is he's free to play friendly. You can get him as a free to play, and he's just amazing. He does a lot of damage. He increases the crit chance of your allies in the back row, and like in something like extreme challenges, he can rage almost every time you start a new fight because he regains rage every time you kill an enemy, and he's just overall a good character. He has really good stats. He's free to play friendly. He increases the crit chance, and he does a lot of damage. Kampachi is very, very good. Now we get onto Zangetsu, right up top here. I'm going to call him free to play friendly because every free to play player should be able to get him after, maybe 2-3 weeks, maybe 4 of the game coming out. And he's a really good character. He has really good stats, and he has really, really high attack status actually. He does pretty good damage, he inflicts bleeds, and he's an Azure Dragon. Overall, Zangetsu is really good. We got Aizen right here. This is a hard one. Okay. So, Aizen, I'm gonna put him up top. He is not free to play friendly at all. He cost quite a lot of money to obtain. But if you have that money to spend, Aizen is simply amazing. He steals attack and defense from enemies, and he himself does insanely high damage. I definitely recommend him if you can get him. But I'd maybe honestly, Aizen's really hard. It's just between this one and this one. Only reason I'd maybe put him in legendary. I'm sorry. It's because he's not free to play friendly at all. Like even if you spend little money, you cannot get him. You have to spend a lot of money. But he's just amazing. I have to put him all the way at the top. His War Soul is even better, and he just does he does a lot of high damage. He has a chance to disorient the enemies. He steals attack and defense, and he has he's just really good, man. He's just really good. Yamamoto, another one at the top. Yamamoto is probably, in my opinion, the best character out in the game right now. He does a lot of damage. He attacks all the enemies. He has a chance to stun. He burns the enemies. He does rage reduction, and he increases your team effect accuracy. Yamamoto is simply amazing. I recommend everybody to save up their soul jades and summon tokens for him and try to pull him. And he's an Azure Dragon as well, so he can rage first round. So he's just simply amazing. Even at 4-star, Yamamoto is absolutely amazing. I definitely recommend him. Even at 3-star, honestly, he's just that good. Now, Soifon, I'm gonna put her in very good. once again, with Soy Fon, I don't see many people using her, but if you build her out really good, she has a chance to insta kill. She has a pretty good crit chance after she uses her rage skill ones, and she does really high damage to one of the guys in the back row. Like if you build her really high, she could possibly wipe out one character in the back row of the enemy, and she can also rage first round. Soy Fon is pretty good in my opinion. Yumi Chika, he's just down here. He doesn't do much. Same thing with him. And finally, Matsumoto. I'm gonna put her in very good. First of all, she's very free to play friendly, and everybody knows how good she is in extreme challenges. She's simply amazing. She can rage first round, and she has a chance to silence the enemies. Like Matsumoto here, she's like that one character almost everybody uses for extreme challenges because she can carry in extreme challenges. She attacks all the enemies, and she has a chance, to stun some of those enemies. So Soyafon is absolutely amazing early on in the game to get up stages in extreme challenges, even late game, honestly. And she is free to play friendly, and that's why I put her in very good. And I believe that's it. Yep, that is it. So, once again, I'd like to mention this is just my personal opinion. I didn't go in details in many characters just because the video is already long enough. I don't want to take a lot of your time. But this is my personal opinion on some of the best characters in the game right now. And, as more characters come out in the future, I'll maybe update the tier list. But as of right now, this is what I think is good. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy my content, and please leave a comment, if you have any questions or anything. And, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.